Good morning, fam. It's been a minute. The last 3 months have been some of the busiest of my life, while also not busy, because I feel like you're just doing the same thing sort of day after day, focused on keeping this tiny little human alive. So now that it's the 1st of April and the end of the 4th trimester, and my baby is looking at me and judging me. I think she's trying to sleep, and I am vlogging. It's the end of the 4th trimester. She will be 3 months tomorrow. And I just want to reflect on like 3 or 4 of the biggest things that I don't think anyone could have prepared me for in this experience, specifically having a newborn and those first couple weeks. Because fam, holy hell. So the first one is the sleep deprivation that comes right after you bring your baby home. Everyone always says, oh, you're going to be tired. Sleep now, sleep before the baby gets here. First off, that always drove me insane because it's not like you can bank sleep. It's not like sleeping more before the baby comes is going to help you when baby is here. But those first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think are some of the most jarring when it comes to sleep and the effect it has on your life, because one day you are pregnant and then you are coming home with a tiny human and they are up every 2 to 3 hours. They are crying. They are new to the world. They are uncomfortable. They do not know what is going on. And you are at their beck and call. We lived on the couch for the first week and a half and then attempted to move up to the bedroom, I think around week 2 or after 2 weeks, and get her used to her cot. Some days that worked, some days it didn't. There were many mornings where I would bring her downstairs, put her in her bassinet, and then sleep on the couch. I think this is also the scariest time because if you're not sleeping in shifts, you can get into some potentially dangerous situations when it comes to sleeping. So sometimes your baby just wants to sleep on you, and having my husband watch us to make sure she was okay, and then vice versa, was essential, because those contact sleeps the first couple weeks are the only way that your baby may sleep. Now my baby, hi Bubs. Now my baby, she goes down in her cot in the evening just fine. So I feel very blessed that that is what is working right now, and she seems to prefer that. She gets quite fussy in the evening if she's not in her cot. But the level of sleep deprivation and just inability to and just your inability to function is alarming and horrifying, and it doesn't matter how many people talk about it. I don't think you can ever truly be prepared for those first couple weeks. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced, and I don't think I could do it again. And if I did do it again, I would hire probably like a night nanny or a night nurse or something, because I cannot function without sleep, and it was really hard those first couple weeks. Hi, Bubs. The second thing I don't think that anyone can prepare you for is mastitis. If you're breastfeeding or pumping, you're supposed to be sleeping. You were just falling asleep. When I went to my prenatal class and just sort of like in reading prep material for when baby is here, the midwives mentioned mastitis, but it's one of those things, again, I don't think you can fully be prepared for until you experience it. I have not experienced a fever come on so horrifically and had chills that bad since I had COVID. I've had COVID once that I'm aware of, that I definitely for sure tested positive on, and had a horrible fever. The kind of fever where you sweat through your clothes and your sheets and you have to get up in the middle of the night and shower and then you do it all over again. That is what happens with mastitis. And when you hit that level, you require antibiotics. Otherwise, the infection in your breast can turn into sepsis. And then you have to go to the emergency room and have some horrible things happen to help like drain the infection. Didn't get that far, thank God. But that experience, just having to be on antibiotics for mastitis and dealing with the pain of that, was enough to kill my pumping and breastfeeding journey. Just like done. Had a nice like freezer stash set up for her, but it is horrible. And when you are in those newborn trenches and dealing with that and can't take care of your baby because you are incapacitated by this fever, and infection, it's horrible. So it just sort of, I don't know if it's different in the US, but in the class that I took here, the midwives just sort of like glossed over it. It's absolutely horrible. I don't know how many Reddit threads I went down just trying to find tips for relief and whatnot. I have never finished a bottle of ibuprofen before the expiration date, like one of the ones you get from Target in the US, of like 200 tablets. I finished that sucker well before the expiration date because that is how much ibuprofen you are taking, which is not great for your liver. So, not an experience I wanted to repeat. It was awful. The third thing, that has been something I think I knew I would struggle with, but it really didn't hit home until after she came, was how lonely motherhood has been, especially as a immigrant, because that's what I am in the UK. I don't have a village here. I don't have my friends here, and my family is all in the US. They are finally coming in a couple weeks, but it is very lonely, especially when you are breastfeeding and you are the one who is feeding and pumping, and you become the primary caregiver, and you expect there to be an even split of work for caring for the baby with your partner, but just by the nature of like what you were doing in breastfeeding and whatnot, you can't, like, there won't be that split. And then all of your energy is wrapped up in making sure she's okay and she's alive and she's breathing and you're feeding her and you're on this schedule, and it's really hard to find time for yourself and then your partner, and then not having anyone to stop by to help with food or anything has been really difficult. Jay's parents are super close to us, location wise, so we have had his mom help out with meals occasionally, which has been a lifesaver. And now we're finally at the point where I'm able to like make dinner again, which has been so nice because I love cooking. But it's just been really lonely. And I did go to a mom group workout class for the first time last week. Probably going to go to some that aren't like workout based because that seemed like just like a nice venue to meet people. But the workout class is kind of difficult because you're there to work out. Hello, do you have things to say for the vlog? But yeah, it's been really lonely. And then my postpartum depression has been up and down. I had a really bad spell in the last couple days that I'm just coming out the other side of, and I'm trying to decide if medication is the right thing. But I had a video chat with one of my friends back in Whistler. Hi Sarah, I love you. And really needed that. But I'm really missing like that in-person time. And it's just super hard because I know if I was in Seattle, I could go down to Lincoln Park, walk along the water. Truly, like, that is where my happy place is, along Puget Sound, and hang out with some of my friends and just go for a walk. And yes, I can go for a walk here. It will never be as satisfying to me or fulfilling as if I was back home. Because Seattle is home at the end of the day. That's how I feel, and that's what I've come to realize. And that's where my village is, and I miss them. So it's been really lonely in that aspect. And then just being wrapped up in her, which sort of leads me to the last bit that I think has been most surprising to me, is just how much my heart has grown to love this tiny human. I can't stand to see her in pain. She's smiley and she's starting to kind of giggle, and just the capacity for which my love and my heart has grown is unexpected. I did not imagine how much my brain would change and how naturally things would come to me. And a lot of people have said to me, "Oh, I knew you'd be a great mother." Well, I didn't feel like that at all. If you handed me a baby before I had a baby, I would have no idea what to do with it. Like, just kind of like hold it awkwardly. And it's amazing how suddenly I can just, I don't know, I feel a natural instinct to know what to do. It's been eye-opening and amazing, and my heart has grown 10 times in size. It's April 1st. It is the start of my last month of maternity leave, which I have a lot of feelings about. And then I will go back to work part-time. I have canceled. I was supposed to speak at an event that has been on my bucket list for ages in June, but I just think it's too soon. I'm not quite ready to try and manage that. And mom brain is a real thing, and I just don't have the capacity to update the talk that I'm going to give. That being said, I have had another idea for a talk because I've sort of experienced this interesting like disconnect from the tech sphere while I've been on maternity leave, because I've not been on socials as much, engaging in that sort of content. But my husband has gone back to work, and I have sort of watched this AI catastrophe unfold, and while not being involved in it, and I have a lot of thoughts about design and code and craft that I think would make a good talk. And I would like to give it, but I don't have anything outlined yet. I don't have time. This is the first vlog that I am actually going to like put together and post. It's been so hard to try and find time, but now that she's 3 months, it's getting a little bit easier. But I would like to give this talk. Maybe there's an event called Beyond Tellerrand, and I feel like it would fit there. But we'll see. So, it has been a wild ride, and I know I keep having to remind myself, like, this is life now. Like, she is growing, she is changing, and it is beautiful and heartbreaking all at once because I want her to stay little and I don't want her to stay little and I want to know what she's going to be like. So it's been a lot. And then just like the thought of going back to work is both exciting and not exciting because I just want to be with her and lay on the floor and watch Real Housewives while we learn and play and make a little fort on the floor on our little play mat. Like, I just want that, but unfortunately I got bills to pay and there are things that I like to do that require money. So that is the world that we live in. But I'm glad, like I feel blessed that I've been able to take 4 months and then I get to go back part-time. I know there are a lot of women in the US who had to go back to work at 6 weeks or didn't even get that, and I can't even imagine that, and my heart breaks for them because it should be criminal not giving women that time to bond with their babies. It's a lot and it's upsetting. It's devastating to me that so many women in the US are robbed of that. So I'm thankful for that time that I have gotten, and then Jay will finish out his paternity leave in June and we will start to manage having a child and working. So that is a whole new area that we will tackle when we get to it. But for now, I'm just going to soak up all this time I have with her and wish it would never end, pretty much. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. It's been a hot second. And I don't know what the cadence of vlogs will be going forward. I'm still trying to figure that out. But it feels good to sit down and create something again. So thanks for being here, fam.